Welcome back into Talking Fitchburg. Joining me today from the Better Business Bureau here in Southern Wisconsin, we have Tiffany Schultz. Tiffany, welcome back to the show. How are you doing today?
I'm great. Thanks for having me today.
Thank you for joining us. And we are going to be talking about spring break safety tips. I think a lot of people are itching to hit the road, and there's just a lot of things that have changed since the last time you may have taken a spring break trip. Excuse me. So you're going to help us break that down today. What should we overall be thinking before we head out?
Spring break is right around the corner. If you're going on a family vacation, maybe you're a college student who's traveling, we have some tips for you. The first thing that we want you to do is keep your ID handy. If you're traveling by plane, you're going to need that at check-in. You're going to need it through TSA. You may even need to use it to check into the hotel. If you're traveling internationally, make sure that you have your passport. Keep your passport on you and make an extra copy, a paper copy, and stick that in the hotel safe. In the event that you should lose your passport, maybe it gets pickpocketed, you want to be able to get home. So that's so important, just to keep that extra copy, tuck it away in the hotel safe, and hopefully you don't need it.
Yeah, you will not make it far at the airport if you don't have an ID on you. So starting with that alone, but passport as well. And passport too, you have to keep that up to date and ongoing. So I've heard, and I don't know if you've heard this or not, and bad ways to be bringing this up, but have you heard of that you can't go last minute now to get passport updated?
For a while, there's been a backlog of passports. So I wouldn't be surprised that you do need some amount of lead time. I do know that if you need to expedite it, you can, and it's very expensive to do so. So if you're planning a spring break trip internationally and you haven't used that passport in a while and it's expired, you might want to dig that out now and start the process.
Yeah, I've heard some friends that ran into some trouble about that, and like, we'll go down to Chicago and get it done, and they don't do that anymore. So you gotta definitely check into that before you head out. Don't travel alone. Staying in a group. I can't think of a better thing that's so important when you're doing any trips.
Use the buddy system. Don't just quickly run out to the store or quickly run across the resort. Always stay with a buddy. Whether you take your husband with you, a friend with you, if you're a college student, you're going out, you're meeting new friends, that's great. If you want to hang out with a new friend, that's great too, but don't hang out with that new friend alone. Lots of people have great intentions, but there are those bad apples in the bunch. So always take a friend with you if you're going to be hanging out with a new friend as well.
Take a friend, meet a new friend, hang out with that friend. It's just the bigger the group, the better. I think that's what I heard from out there. Next one is being careful with your money. There are so many different routes we could go here, but overall, what would you say you recommend as far as the cash carrying?
Take a small amount of cash with you. Any extra cash that you have, put in the hotel safe with that paper copy of the passport. You can go ahead and use your credit card. A credit card is always going to give you additional protections that other forms of payment may not, including a debit card. A debit card is different than a credit card. Remember that. Credit card, you can get those extra bonus points too. So there's always incentive to use them. If you are using a digital wallet like Apple Pay, Venmo, Cash App, any of those, be very careful with those. So there are scams that are related to those. You can only transfer a certain amount of money. And if you are using those, only transfer money with people that you know. If somebody that you don't know takes Venmo payment or electronic payment, it may be better just to pay with that credit card than the actual electronic wallet.
Absolutely. And I think twice before you make any purchases when you are on the road. But that's a whole different story to go into. Next one, using caution when swimming and never swim alone might not be something that people think about when they head out. And maybe you're a little rusty after COVID's, the break we've had against everything. So what do you say on that front?
A trip to the ocean seems amazing right now. We're all excited to get to the warm weather, and the ocean can be so refreshing, but there are undertows and currents that are in the ocean. So always swim with a buddy and swim where there's a lifeguard present. Something so refreshing can turn into tragedy quickly. So you never know what's underneath. The ocean does change time of day. Even if you're headed to the Gulf of Mexico, be careful and swim where there's a lifeguard that's present.
Yeah, it just really emphasizes not traveling alone again. It's the same thing. I have a buddy when you're out in the water, poolside, whatever the case may be, so you can stay protected. Another thing that you want to stay protected from, and we're Wisconsinites that have been inside, it's that the sun rays, sunshine could be make your trip not so fun if you're having to put on that anti heating cream, if you will. And I can't think of the name of that now, just drawing a blank here, but uh suntan lotion is so important.
Don't forget your sunscreen when you're heading out. And the stuff, the after sun is called aloe. So
Aloe, darn
yeah.
it. I couldn't think of the name. My God. It was right there. Aloe. Sorry.
Pack your sunscreen with you. You want 30 SPF or higher. You can wear a brim hat. You can wear loosely fitted dark fabrics. Those keep the sun at bay. Plan your activities accordingly. The sun is usually hottest between 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. So if you're going to be doing activities, maybe you want to get them in before 10 or after 4. If you are traveling somewhere where you're snorkeling and there's a reef, make sure that you look for that reef safe sunscreen so that it doesn't harm the animals in the ocean.
All right. How about if you want to do some driving, whether you're going to be driving to your destination or renting a car when you get to that destination? Safe driving has got to be a must.
If you're taking a road trip, make sure that you have a plan to switch off drivers every so often. Maybe it's 4 hours, 6 hours. If you're planning on driving through the night, you want that other driver to be well rested. Before you head out, make sure a mechanic looks over your vehicle. You get an oil change before you go, tires inflated properly. You want to have that all set up. And if you are renting a car, make sure that you know if you're covered for insurance, if you need to purchase the insurance through the rental company, or if your credit card or your auto insurance at home would cover any type of accident.
Definitely check that twice. That's all I'm saying. Not that anything's happened to me, but I've heard of some pretty bad stories there on that front. Finally, don't overshare. You got to be really good about kind of leaving those photos to share till you get back home, right?
We're always excited to post our vacation pictures. You know, everybody is so happy for you. They're kind of living through your Facebook posts if they're not going anywhere. But be careful with what you share. Keep in mind that hashtags can be publicly searched. So if you're using a hashtag Florida or hashtag Disney World or hashtag Mexico, those can be usually be searched. Make sure your privacy settings are set to how you want them to be set. If you normally share publicly, maybe you scale that back while you're on vacation because people are watching and they may or may not know if you're home. You want to protect yourself.
Absolutely. All right. Great tips, Tiffany. Appreciate it. If people want to learn more about traveling safe and any other ideas as they head out for spring break, where can they learn more?
We have a lot more travel tips on bbb.org.
All right. Well, happy spring break to you. Thank you for the great information, and we'll catch up with you real soon.
Thanks for having me today.
You bet. Check the BBB.org website for all the latest information. A lot of good resources out there for you. Take a quick break. More to come. You're watching Talking Fitchburg.